Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you managed to join the channel. Today we're going to touch on a very interesting topic, how to travel with little or no money. As you all know, my name is Sheila Atieno Vandegraaff and this is Impact with Sheila Vandegraaff. So majority of you have reached out to me and asked me, how do I manage to travel? I'm right now at the airport, Denver International Airport, and I'm leaving briefly to go to Germany, and later on I'll be in Kenya. And my travel history has always been, as per now, I've traveled to over 15 countries and counting. So this is something that many of the people have always wanted to know, how do you manage to travel? And there are three main ways why people, or even more, why people shy away from traveling. They feel like it's expensive to travel, you have to be rich for you to travel. That's a big lie. Another thing is that they fear traveling, and they fear traveling either alone, or they just fear traveling because they've seen the horrible news from the media, they've seen the horrible news from from their church, from their community, from their friends, from their neighbors. The other reason why a lot of people don't travel is that they feel like they don't want to come out of their comfort zone. So they think, oh, okay, I'll just stay here. So you guys, traveling is fun. When you travel, you get to know the world, you get to understand and appreciate nature, appreciate people, appreciate communities, and just see what's happening in the world. Again, not your mama's soup is the best. There are other soups out there, and you just need to trust yourself. You don't need to be as brave for you to travel. You don't need all the monies for you to travel. No, that's not the case. And also, you just need some few tips for you to get out of your comfort zone and travel the world. I'm so excited to share this opportunity with you, and I'll share with you how I managed to travel all these countries and how you can start traveling today, tomorrow. I know my boarding is I'm almost boarding, and I don't want to be left behind, but I just want you to, I'll be sharing as we go by. But one of the things I want you to have at the back of your mind, you don't need to be brave for you to travel. You don't need money for you to travel, and you don't need the whole community for you to travel. You don't need to fear. The world is safe, because even at your home place, anything can happen. So you just always want to trust the process, and things will just get better as you go by. I hope this will encourage somebody, and I'll share the tips of traveling with little or no money. So as I'd shared, I'll share with you guys how to travel with little or no money, some of the tips. So one of the tips that I've used work travels. I know this majority of people have an opportunity to travel and to work, to travel because of their work. And most of the time work travels, the company pays for the travels, accommodation, meals, and most of the the travel needs. So normally what I do, I take advantage of such opportunities during lunch breaks, during weekends. I just take this opportunity to travel out and just get to see the country, get to see the place, get to see various places. Then another thing that you will just require before you start traveling is you have to have your passport. Having a passport is very important. It enables you to travel, and you can miss opportunities by just not having a passport. So work travel is one way that you can travel for free. Then there's forming friendship and networks that can host you outside your country, outside your environment. I've had to travel in places that I needed not to pay accommodation, I needed not to pay food, I needed not to pay so much because of hosting, being hosted by a family, being hosted by a friend, and also you return the same favor. So that's another way that I've managed to travel and see the world in the most cheapest and the most affordable way. The other tip is to have travel buddies. When you have travel buddies, they always know the deals. You can get cheaper travel deals. They know cheaper accommodation, and because you're a group travel, there's always discount. There's always opportunity to trade in, and another tip is to travel during low season. So just don't travel. There are seasons that are very, very high, So these are the peak seasons, so don't try if you want to cut on cost, look at the low seasons, because it will give you better rate, it will give you better opportunity to travel at a very cheap rate. I know of months that are very cheap to travel and the months that are very expensive, so please check on that. So another tip is you can use the travel deals and competition that normally appear once in a while in a travel guidelines. So this is something I'll also do a research. I've not used it personally, but I've known people winning competition and traveling for free or at the lowest rate possible. Another tip that I've used is I've hitchhiked. You can hitchhike but this one you have to be very careful because you don't know who's gonna drive you, you don't know the security issues. There's so much that is involved in hitchhiking, but it's so much fun. I used to do it in my younger years. I no longer do it anymore. Maybe I've developed fear as some of you guys, but I've gone to very nice destination by just hitchhiking. So you can decide to hitchhike. Another tip that you can use to travel cheaply is that you can also join the backpack community. They have wonderful places to visit. They have enormous places to go to at a very cheap place. You only need to have your tent, or at times you get tents there, and it's accessible to backpackers. It's just awesome. So those are some of the tips. I know there's also the professional one. When you're a professional or consultant, like an example, I've been sponsored to go and speak in a forum. I've been sponsored to go and train. I've been sponsored to go and travel for work, for my professional related experience. So these normally everything is taken care of, and you just have to appear and make your professional output. So in this, I also take advantage of such opportunities and get to see the various places that the country and the place has in place for me. There's also the aspect of volunteerism. So you can volunteer and get a ticket in return. You can volunteer and get accommodation in return. You can volunteer and get food in return. There's so much to get from volunteering. So I've volunteered in so many ways. I've gotten opportunities to travel to various places just because of volunteering and to interact with so many people. So volunteering is also another way to get. I'm not saying you volunteer because you want to travel, but it's another platform you can get cheap ways to travel. Either they can give you through kind exchange. You can get accommodation. You can get means of travel across the various places you'd want to visit. So volunteering is just another aspect that you can travel for free or at a very cheap way, cheap means to travel. I just want to encourage you guys to just leave your comfort zone. Traveling is not expensive, and don't fear. The world is safe. Anything can happen anywhere. We just trust. As a believer, I trust in God, and just continue traveling. I trust that things will work out well, and if they don't go as per the plan, so that's life. I mean, we have to travel. We have to experience life in the most beautiful way. So I also want to share that through my love for travels, I started my own traveling company, my own safari company, and I've managed to travel also through that way, because as tour operators, we get good deals to travel. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming in to share. Thank you for always subscribing to my channel. If you haven't, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and feel free to interact. Comment down there which countries you've traveled to and how you managed to travel. Was it cheap? Was it expensive? How was the experience? Would you want to try some of my tips? And maybe comment also some of the tips that I've not been in a position to capture. I know there's so many tips that people are using out there to travel cheaply or without any cost or with the minimal cost. Please guys, feel free to share. I'm now in Germany, and yeah, let's see what the future holds for us. Thank you guys. Bye.